ideas. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Even though this is a food, the main thing that you'll be using this for is a moisturiser, if you like. So what we're going to be making is a nice healthy moisturiser, because I see so many of my clients and so many people going unknown about the health destroying properties of some of the moisturisers and things. And what I can see from a lot of these moisturisers is they're doing more damage than good. So you might get a nice sort of looking skin, it might take away some of the lines, but you've got to start asking the question, what's it doing to the inside? So to start with, your skin is an organ and it actually absorbs 60% of what you could normally put through your mouth. So what that means is whatever you put, any sort of moisturiser you put on your skin, it's going to be absorbed into your system, and your liver and your detoxification systems have to deal with it. So if it's quite a toxic moisturiser, it's got lots of chemicals in there and parabens and other things, your liver has to deal with it. However, the moisturiser we're going to make today is predominantly from coconut oil, cacao butter, and then also the shea butter. So some of the benefits: cacao butter is known to be very hydrating, especially for people that got dry skin, and which could happen even more in winter. The cacao butter has been known to help get dry skin nice and soft and smooth. The other thing with the cacao butter is it's got the resveratrol, which has been popping up on my radar a fair bit lately. And the cacao bean and the butter itself has got a lot of it in there. And what it is an antioxidant. And one of the benefits of this particular antioxidant is that it's allowed to cross over the blood-brain barrier, which means that the antioxidants are going straight into our brain. It's going to be helping out to get our brain nice and healthy and to keep our nervous system nice and healthy as well. With the shea butter, there's a whole bunch of excellent properties with that as well. It's the same as the cacao butter. The shea butter is also a saturated fat. So it's got a really good shelf life. And this sort of a thing it's perfect for, so we're not going to, a lot of the polyunsaturated fatty acids start going off with a bit of heat. Even flax oil you need to keep in the fridge just so it can stay stable. So if you want a nice stable oil, your body's going to benefit from, pick a saturated fat. With the shea butter as well, there's properties and studies showing that it can be anti-inflammatory, which most of us need nowadays. The other thing is in there is the coconut oil. I'm a big advocate of the coconut oil for a few different reasons. To start with, it's antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. So if you've got any cuts on your skin or any abrasions, or maybe after a shave, the coconut oil will have amazing benefits to clean up your skin. So it's got all those antibacterial properties. The other thing is it's actually a medium chain fatty acid, which means that instead of going through your blood supply, through your liver, and then maybe stored as fat, this sort of an oil, when you eat it particularly, will go straight into your blood supply and used as energy. So it will actually heat up your metabolism, which is amazing for our thyroid and very protective to our adrenal glands as well. There's another thing in the coconut oil, which is lauric acid, and one of the only places that's found, another place, is in breast milk. And it's been shown to actually increase cholesterol of the HDLs, the high density lipoproteins, so the good ones. So it'll help balance out your cholesterol issues if you do have any, which most of the time comes from inflammation anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to melt all those oils together so you've got all the benefits of all those oils. And then what I'm also going to add is I'm going to add about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. And as you know, the sea salt that I use has got 84 different trace minerals and elements. And if my skin absorbs a lot of this, it means that my body and my skin is going to be reabsorbing a whole bunch of minerals that I could be losing through sweating and training as well. So the best thing about this also is that I know that it's healthy for my skin is because every single one of these oils and the salt we can eat. So after I've finished cooling this down and I've turned it into a moisturiser, if I've run out of cooking oils, I can go to my toiletry bag, grab my moisturiser, and I can even cook with it if I want. So that's when I know that it's a healthy product. A lot of these moisturisers nowadays which have got parabens in there, and paraben is an estrogen mimicking chemical. And as you probably know, I'm doing a lot of work with the adrenals, and this month I'm trying to focus a bit more on the thyroid. And one of the biggest things that interferes with thyroid and suppresses thyroid health is estrogen. And if you're putting on moisturisers with parabens, or it can even be in food additives as benzoic acid and other things as a preservative, all you're doing is getting all these chemicals into your body, and now your thyroid may start to be suppressed just because there's an overload of estrogen. You've got it in plastic water bottles. Even with the parabens, you've got it in moisturisers, that's in underarms, it's in toothpastes, sunscreen. So a lot of this stuff that we're putting on our skin, and like I said, if you can cut out all of that, our body, our liver doesn't have to deal with it. You're not overloading your thyroid, your metabolism will be nice and healthy, and you're doing something great not only for your body but for your skin. Watch along and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so the ingredients for our moisturiser, there's our coconut oil. I usually buy the coconut oil in bulk, usually buy about 20 kilos at a time. You know, give a couple kilos or litres to some clients and keep a lot for myself, because again I use it a lot for moisturisers and body care, and then I also do a lot of cooking in the coconut oil as well. It's pretty much one of the only things I'll cook with. Then we've got the shea butter. I get this from a guy over in Bondi, Pete, at the Sovereign Cafe, just on Oxford Street there in Bondi Junction. And the next thing also I get is the cacao butter. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of minerals, some salt back into that, so we've got some minerals that our skin's going to absorb also. So I've just got the pan on, heating it up. All we're going to do, we're just going to bring it to a light heat. So I'm going to set it down to about sort of a moderate heat. We just want to bring the oils warm enough so it'll just start to melt. So I've got about, I guess, 150 grams worth of coconut oil. I'm going to put all of that in, and most of my moisturisers when I make them, I try and keep them quite coconut oil based. So I've probably got about 150 grams of the coconut oil. With the cacao butter, I'll probably put in about 150 grams of that also. And then with the shea, I'm probably going to put about 50 grams to 75 grams in. And don't need a lot of this because it does get quite sticky on the skin. So looking for about 50 to 70 grams, maybe 100 if you like. And the best thing about this sort of a moisturiser is you can sort of play around with different oils to see what sort of effect you can get. If you like it nice and sort of nourishing and sort of sitting on your body a bit more, you want to add a bit more shea butter in there because that's sort of a nice thick oil. So I just usually, after a shower, just put this sort of a moisturiser straight on, and I want it to sort of soak in. So I guess I know for a fact that the coconut and the cacao butter sort of absorbed right into the skin quite nicely, and the shea takes a little bit more time. So here it all is. You can see the shea butter here. This is the cacao butter, and the coconut oil is already sort of melted in. So we're just going to keep moving that around. And again, it's only on low heat, so this might take, you know, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes to be able to melt all the way down. With sort of a mixture, probably put like, you know, half a teaspoon worth of salt in there as well. And that's just to boost up the minerals, because you know that your skin will be able to absorb 60% of what you can put on your body. So I know that now by adding this in, it's a nice way for my skin and my body to get some extra minerals. Okay, so that's it. It's all done. Only took about 2 minutes to boil down, make sure it's nice and smooth. Most of that salt's dissolved in. The only thing is you make sure that your salt's quite ground up. Some of it may not dissolve, but that's okay. As long as there's some in there, your body will still absorb it. This is a point as well, if you like, if you want to give it some sort of tone, if you want to put in some sort of oil to give it that sort of a scent, I'd add in maybe 10 drops of an essential oil to this sort of a mix, just to give it a slight sort of a smell or aroma. So it depends on what you're after. I usually use oils as a sort of instead of cologne, so I'll keep this as a plain mix, and then I usually just add my oils afterwards to my body, just to give a nice little aromatic smell. Okay, the last thing to do now, I always use glass with oils, just so that if the plastic that you're using in a container heats up, it can leach some of the estrogen mimicking chemicals, the BPAs, the bisphenol A's, into the product. So all I'm going to do is just get a glass container and just pour that oil straight back in. Just going to let it sit. I can put it in the fridge if I want it to set quicker, but in the middle of winter that might stay quite hard, so normally I'll have to put a little bit in my hands and just rub it together. But in the middle of summer when it gets a bit warmer, because these are saturated fats, they'll start melting and can even go to a liquid. So if you've got them in your bag, make sure they're sealed up nice and well. Last thing you want is to open up and all your moisturisers all through your bag. I hope you enjoy it.